In a world where heroes are revered and assassins are feared by all, a young man named Akira is summoned along with his classmates to defeat the Demon King. While everyone believes that only the hero is special, blessed with absurdly high stats for his level, our assassin hides a great secret. In truth, the assassin class is far more powerful than the heroes. And thus, the story begins on a rainy night. On a rainy night, on the rooftop of a castle, an assassin prepared to kill his target. While checking the sharpness of his blade, he felt a strange presence. When he turned around, there was a young man standing atop the castle. At first, he assumed it was just another assassin like himself. However, when he looked at his face, he realized it was the silent assassin. Even sensing he was no match for the silent assassin, he didn't retreat, declaring that he couldn't abandon his target. He quickly began running across the roof, displaying impressive speed. As he threw his kunai, the silent assassin absorbed them and dodged with effortless precision and power. Face to face, the two charged at each other without hesitation, swords in hand. The silent assassin proved to be much more agile and powerful than his opponent, and with one precise strike, he sent the enemy's sword flying into the air. Disarmed, the assassin tried using his kunai again for a final strike. It failed. The silent assassin saw his opening and moved behind him. After several fierce blows, the man kept resisting as much as he could, but when he was finally struck down, his sword still falling from the sky landed right in his chest. After finishing his opponent, the silent assassin descended into the victim's room to kill them without mercy. At school, students chatted about sword training until one of them noticed Akira, who was reading something on his phone. He was interrupted by a classmate who asked if he also liked isekai stories. Akira replied that he liked anything he could read for free. He seemed like an introverted student who didn't enjoy attention. The others even admitted they barely remembered he was in their class. Hearing the students talk, Akira admitted he was surprised that someone had actually spoken to him at school, since no one usually noticed him. Suddenly, a dark blur appeared on the classroom ceiling. From it, several lines spread across the floor where the students stood. The lights turned purple, and Akira quickly realized it was some kind of portal. Later, he would learn it was a magic circle that teleported them to a palace in another world. When they arrived, the students were confused about what was happening. An old man with a white beard and a monocle opened the royal gates, saying that His Majesty wanted to speak with them. A girl wondered if it was all some kind of fantasy, but she was quickly silenced by the old man's stern voice. The king appeared and told the students they were now in a world called Morrigan, and that the human kingdom they were in was named Redis, the greatest nation on the human continent. The students questioned the king about the term human kingdom. He explained that their world was under attack by demons and revealed that only a hero from another world had the power to defeat the demon lord, the strongest among them. Akira immediately noticed how similar it all was to an isekai story, which secretly made him excited. The old man then said they would now identify who among them was the hero, surprising everyone. All they had to do was place their hand on a crystal orb located at the center of the palace. One student rushed to be the first. The old man gave instructions, telling him to say status mentally to reveal his class. To his surprise, a magic screen appeared, showing that he wasn't the hero. Still, the old man assured him that even without being the hero, he had good stats enough to become a legend one day. As the students went one by one, the old man explained that even without touching the orb, they could see their stats by saying status in their minds. Akira's classmate claimed to be a wind mage and asked Akira what his class was. Akira replied that he was an assassin, to which his friend said the class suited him perfectly. Akira checked his own stats privately by thinking status, and realized his abilities were far superior to those of his classmates. Finally, the hero was revealed. His name was Satu. The old man explained that most people had around 500 power, but the hero had twice that amount. Even so, Akira was amazed by his own strength. His stats were unusually high for an assassin. When it was his turn to reveal his stats publicly, he hesitated, afraid of showing how abnormal they were. Using his presence concealment ability, he turned invisible. His classmates standing next to him couldn't see him at all, allowing Akira to slip away unnoticed. The royal attendants dismissed the students, telling them to rest in their chambers. As Akira walked down the corridor, he looked up and noticed cameras watching the students as they moved, which made him suspect the royal family was hiding something. Little did Akira know, he was already being watched by one of the royal guards. Akira is in his room and soon notices that it isn't clean, which actually makes him feel more comfortable. It means no one will enter to tidy it up. He receives some clothes typical of an assassin, and says he needs to gather more information. When he steps outside, he realizes that his movements have become sharper, and his physical abilities have noticeably improved. He hears a strange noise coming from inside the palace and activates his presence concealment mode. There, he overhears the king talking to the princess about the student. The king says it's extremely important that the students don't gain access to the castle's records. They must not learn too much. Akira watches them closely, but they don't notice him because he's invisible. However, the king senses a strange presence, though he dismisses it after seeing no one. The next day, during lunch, Akira eats while remaining hidden. He reflects on whether or not he should tell his classmates what he discovered. Suddenly, Satu stands up and addresses the students, saying that now that they have enhanced abilities, they should help the people of this world. He declares that they must fight against the demon lord to save the people from this threat. The students quickly agree, cheering and getting excited, but Akira knows the royal family can't be trusted. Saren Mithray, the Knight Commander of Redis, is in charge of the students' training. He announces that he will test their combat ability and courage. Akira overhears this from afar and wonders what he should do. He decides to gather more information. As the training begins, Saren leaves the command to his companion, Jills, who is caught off guard. Before leaving, Saren hints that he has something more important to take care of. As Akira walks through the halls in search of something, he is suddenly stopped by Saren. Even though his presence concealment ability is active, Saren still detects him and asks, "Something bothering you, Akira?" Startled, Akira wonders if he accidentally deactivated his stealth mode, but Saren smirks and tells him the ability is still active, sarcastically adding that his mystical eyes can perceive temperature differences. Akira prepares for battle, but hesitates when Saren assures him he won't report him to the king or the princess. He asks Akira if he's on their side. Saren admits that things are complicated even for the knights, but warns Akira not to tell the king anything. The two sit down to talk. Saren asks if Akira would like to see the king's secret records. Akira says yes, since he still doesn't understand anything about this world. Saren then asks how high Akira's presence concealment skill level is. Akira replies that it's at the maximum level, which astonishes Saren, though the rest of his abilities are still at level 1. Saren offers to help Akira train and increase his power levels, adding that there's nothing too special in the records anyway. Akira shows excitement about being in a world he used to see only in fiction, but he reminds himself not to lose focus. His goal is to return home to his family. He asks Saren if he knows how to return to his world. Saren admits he doesn't, but tells him that in any case, he must get stronger if he wants to make that happen. To go back home, Akira must stay alive. Saren offers him the chance to help him become an exceptional assassin. Akira, suspicious of free offers, asks for the condition. Saren replies that in exchange, Akira must tell him about his own world. Saren says he's hungry for new knowledge, and so the two form a partnership. Saren teaches Akira about their current world, explaining that besides humans and demons, there are also elves and beastmen, each living on separate continents. The two begin a skill training session. Saren explains that to raise one's class level, one must kill monsters. After Akira tells him a bit about his world, Saren says he finds it fascinating flying metal vehicles in the sky and panels that broadcast information across the entire globe. Things that are ordinary for Akira, but that he's already starting to miss. Later, Jills and Saren talk in a room. Jills says the student's progress is good, but his workload has increased since Saren has been focusing solely on Akira. Saren replies that Akira's stories from his world are entertaining, and that, beyond that, Akira's presence concealment ability is at its maximum level. Jills is amazed, saying that only the first hero ever achieved that. Akira appears in the middle of their conversation. Holding a book, he explains that he has been sneaking into the archives at night to read, and he found one particular book that frightens him. Saren tells him that the book contains information about a coup d'etat, which makes it somewhat frightening. He admits that he wrote it himself and disguised it as a cookbook to hide it, and that he already expected Akira would find it. Saren says that the king has lost his sanity and is willing to pay a terrible price to change the rules of this world, and they cannot allow that. However, the knights still owe a great debt to the royal family. Akira says that, after reading the book, he realized Saren seeks a peaceful end to the reign. He adds that it would have been easier if Akira had simply killed the king when he had the chance, since he has no real ties to this world. Saren says Akira made the right choice by not killing him. The burden of taking a life is heavy. And even though Akira's class is assassin, that doesn't mean he is obliged to kill. He also tells him that if Akira truly wishes to return to his world, he shouldn't shed blood. Akira agrees, saying his family would be disappointed if he became a killer. Saren makes it clear that he deeply admires Akira and his decisions. He proved to be a man who isn't swayed by others, and only a strong man possesses that quality. Saren wishes for Akira's help to complete his coup before returning to his world. Akira says he will think about it. After a month of training, the students are sent to a great labyrinth called Cantinan. They are celebrated by the citizens as heroes. From afar, Akira spots a girl in the crowd staring at him. He quickly teleports behind her and asks why she's looking at him like that. The girl says they are treated as heroes, but they don't know what was sacrificed to bring them to this world. Akira, unaware of any sacrifice, questions her about it, but she turns her back, saying she has the feeling this won't be the last time they meet. Upon arriving at the labyrinth, they find it filled with traps and monsters to fight. Surrounded, Akira tells Saren it's time to retreat. Saren agrees, drawing his sword and unleashing destructive power, killing the monsters in their path. As they climb the stairs, they come across another group of monsters. Satu, remembering a grenade that repels monsters, tries to use it against them, but it has no effect, and a minotaur charges at them. Seeing this, Akira tries to leap onto the minotaur and stab it in the head, but his sword breaks. Akira retreats. The group looks desperate. Satu wonders who will save them since he's already injured. Akira replies that they don't need heroes, they can save themselves. Noticing something strange about Satu, Akira realizes he's been cursed. He immediately calls for a dispeller to remove the curse. To save himself and the group, Akira tells Saren he wants to try a specific attack. Saren agrees, and they prepare for execution. Suddenly, a light appears above the Minotaur, and a burst of power strikes it. Behind it, Akira prepares his move. Akira's attack is called Shadow Magic. He opens a shadow beneath the Minotaur, which tries to escape but is pierced by black spikes and dragged into Akira's shadow. With Saren's help, Akira manages to finish the battle. Saren praises his excellent work, saying it was thanks to Akira that they survived. Saren admits he had never heard of this bonus skill Akira used. It's extremely powerful but difficult to control, as it consumes a lot of energy. He warns Akira to use it only when absolutely necessary. Saren then gifts Akira a katana. Akira asks why he doesn't give it to the hero instead. Saren replies that the hero already has his sacred sword and the king would notice if he carried the katana, since it was stolen from the royal armory. Akira asks for the katana's name. It's engraved near the hilt in an unreadable language. On the blade, it says that it once belonged to the god of the night blade, and an inscription reads, "May this reach you, my successor, and guide you in your hour of need." The message sparks curiosity in both Akira and Saren. Saren says he has an idea who cursed Satu the princess. Akira goes after her and finds her casting another curse inside her chamber. He enters through the window and slices the cursed crystal in half. The princess demands to know who he is and how he dares enter her quarters without permission. He tells her she's nothing more than a witch who uses curses to control others. He asks her why she does it. She replies that everything she does is for his majesty. Akira questions why she follows his orders so blindly, but she insists she does everything for the majesty. Then he leaves. Akira later tells Saren that he was right, it was the princess behind the curses. Saren asks if Akira let her see his face. He says yes and explains he wanted to know what she was doing but couldn't get a proper conversation out of her. Saren reiterates that, at this point, she's nothing more than the king's puppet, and advises Akira to rest for the day but not in the castle, because the princess will likely start cursing everyone except the hero. However, since Akira possesses an unknown status, she wouldn't be able to control him. The only way to resolve it would be through his death. Akira asks Saren if he plans to punish him for showing his face, but Saren lets it go, saying that everyone has impulses when they're young. Akira admires his maturity, saying there should be more adults like him in his own world. Saren jokes that Akira should take him along when he leaves, as he would love to see his world. At dawn, while Akira is sleeping in the forest, he hears noises coming from the palace. He heads toward the students' area, and Satu calls out to him, asking where he's been. Akira asks what's happening, and Satu replies that the commotion is about the commander. In disbelief, Akira rushes to Saren's body. A dagger is lodged in his chest, the very same dagger Akira had broken against the Minotaur's head. Everyone accuses Akira of killing the commander because of his disappearance the previous night. Akira suspects that the princess's curse has affected them all. Satu defends him, saying it's reckless to make such accusations. The king declares that, for supposedly killing Saren, Akira will face justice and punishment. Cornered by the guards, Akira uses his presence concealment ability and vanishes. Invisible, he goes to Jill's for information. Jill's tells him that the commander was actually killed by the king's personal assassins, the Night Crows, and that they are also hunting Akira. Saren had anticipated that something like this might happen and had set aside what Akira would need to escape. At the palace, the princess and the king talk. The king expresses disappointment that Saren fell so easily. The princess says she has finished casting curses on everyone except the hero, and now they only need an excuse to declare war on the east. The king orders the night crows to kill Akira. While fleeing to the labyrinth they had explored before, Akira recalls the conversations he had with Saren before his death. Saren had given him advice in case he ever needed to run, telling him to head for the dungeon. As there's no better place to hide, he also warned that water access there is limited, so careful planning is required. The dungeon is the best place to raise one's class level, since the deeper you go, the stronger the enemies become. Upon hearing that, Akira asks Saren why people in this world don't go to the dungeon to level up. Saren explained that the dungeon is too dangerous, and even Akira's presence concealment wouldn't work against creatures with sharp hearing and smell. However, if Akira managed to further develop his assassin abilities, he could mask his scent, his footsteps, and even his body heat, even though it's a difficult mission. Saren said it's all worth it once you reach class level 100. You unlock a special ability that guarantees your survival in this world. Before going to the dungeon, Saren told Akira to return once more to the Cantinan Labyrinth, where they had trained before, and to defeat the bosses he would find every 10 floors. Upon entering a boss chamber, Akira knows there's no way out until one of them is dead. Once he completes these challenges, his abilities will grow significantly. Following Saren's advice, Akira fights the boss in the labyrinth, but takes a heavy hit to the back. Even wounded, he's determined to return home and avenge Commander Saren. Despite the pain, he pushes forward, using his shadow magic ability again, the same one he used during training, and manages to defeat the boss. Exhausted and injured, he collapses after using the skill. Then, a light shines over him, and a voice speaks, saying he is now in recovery mode, and that the healing will require emergency mana reserves. At the palace, the students discuss defeating the Demon Lord. Satu seems eager to fight him as soon as possible, but the others are still in shock over Saren's death, convinced that Akira killed him. Satu notices his companions acting strangely, and realizes it's because of the curse the princess cast, the same one Jill's mentioned. Since his companions refuse to go with him, Satu decides to go alone. But as he says this, he's surprised to hear some classmates volunteering to join him. Together, they leave the palace in search of the Lord. Outside the palace, Satu asks why they agreed to come along. Then he learns that one of the group members is the Dispeller, the same one who sensed her comrades were cursed and removed it. One of them, named Asahina Kaioyusuke, also admits that his own actions probably led to this situation. He vaguely remembers breaking crystals in an unknown room with that katana, a weapon he has no idea where it came from. Jills watches them proudly. Knowing he successfully carried out Commander Saren's orders, he wishes good luck to the heroes from another world. Asahina thinks of Akira, saying he needs to find him, revealing that the two already knew each other in their original world, and even while cursed, he failed to protect him. He recalls memories from the past, when he used to talk with Akira and learned that their sisters were friends. Akira joked, saying he hoped his sister would never find out about the things older brothers preferred to keep secret. When Akira wakes up in the labyrinth, he also remembers Asahina. Akira hopes that he's doing well and that his family isn't worried about him. As he stands up, Akira notices that he feels no pain, which seems strange since he had just finished his battle not long ago. He checks his stats and realizes they've increased dramatically after the fight. He thought his ribs were broken and that the poison had spread through his leg, yet he feels perfectly fine. His shadow magic had jumped 2 levels after using it just once, and he was learning to control it more effectively. Even without fully understanding what's happening, he moves on. In the labyrinth's corridors, he encounters a slime coming toward him. After slicing through the slime, a female body falls out and collapses unconscious on the ground, revealing a blonde woman dressed in white. Akira assumes she's an elf because of her pointed ears. Enchanted, he mutters that it's the most beautiful face he's ever seen. Faced with the situation, Akira considers using a strange ability he possesses called Eyes of the World, but he hesitates. The ability feels dangerous, so he decides not to use it. The elf finally wakes up, and Akira asks how she's feeling. She replies that she's fine. Since Akira's ability allows him to perceive the world in absolute detail, he can see her HP only 2% loss, and also realizes she possesses the same ability. This results in a spiritual exchange of information between them. The elf asks where they are. Akira replies that it's the 75th floor of the Cantinan Labyrinth. She asks what he's doing there, and he says he's there to level up. Akira knows she's seen his name through the Eyes of the World and calls her rude for not asking it directly. Feverish, she faints again. When she wakes up, the elf finds herself beside Akira, who's been helping her recover. He gives her food and tends to her needs. The elf notices the number 69 written on the wall and asks Akira what it means. He explains that he writes them down to avoid getting lost between floors, having previously told her they were on the 75th floor. He says he went down a few levels to collect more water. She then questions if he touched any wrong places. pieces while carrying her. He denies it and tells her to get some rest. The elf reveals that she's of royal blood and expresses her gratitude for everything Akira has done. Once she falls asleep, Akira also rests, keeping his danger detector active. When they wake, the two continue through the labyrinth. By the 80th floor, even after recovering, the elf still follows Akira. He asks her why, and she replies that she's simply going in the same direction. He makes it clear that from now on, she should protect herself. She responds that even though he has superhuman strength, she doesn't need his protection. As they cross the entrance gate to the boss chamber, a strong wind blows through, revealing a blue dragon that breathes fire upon them. They both run. Akira activates his presence concealment skill, but the dragon still senses him and strikes as he tries to attack. The elf explains that the dragon is tracking Akira's mana and tells him to disperse it throughout the area, a task that seems impossible to him. She tries to restrain the dragon using her magic but fails, growing impatient as the dragon prepares to strike again. Akira leaps onto its back and drives his sword into its eye, bringing it crashing down. Amazed, the elf asks what Akira just did. He answers that since he wasn't skilled enough to diffuse his mana, he used the surrounding mana instead. Suddenly, a radiant white light shines from the dragon, transforming it into a cat with dark fur and a crest on its forehead. The two are confused. The elf explains that it's still alive and possesses the extra skill metamorph. She adds that Akira would have had a much harder time if it had been a real dragon. This was a monster called the Black Cat. Akira asks how she figured all that out, and she replies that she used her Eyes of the World ability. She then asks if Akira uses his as well. He says he can't control it due to his low level, but she tells him he's simply rejecting the ability. Then, the Black Cat wakes up. He said that to play with them, he turned into a dragon he had once seen but ended up overdoing it. Akira is astonished by the cat's ability to speak. The cat explains that he was created by the Demon Lord and is nothing like those beasts that act purely on instinct. He's a creature of great intelligence. The elf sarcastically remarks that he sure likes to call himself intelligent. Akira replies, "Yeah, there are people like that." The Black Cat, belittling Akira, asks, "What could a brat under 100 years old possibly know?" Akira responds that the cat talks like a snob and should acknowledge his current situation, being too injured to even move. Akira threatens him with his kunai, but before he can act, the Black Cat says he has a message from the Demon Lord. He's been summoned to Volcano, the land of demons, and the Lord awaits him in his castle deep within. Akira asks the cat how the Demon Lord knows about him and how he knew Akira would enter the labyrinth, but the cat says he doesn't know. He's incapable of understanding the Demon Lord's vast thoughts. When he finishes, the Black Cat says his mission is complete and that Akira can kill him now. But Akira refuses, saying that even though monsters are considered enemies, he doesn't fully believe in this "all demons are evil" story. The elf warns that the room will only unlock if either the boss or the challenger dies. Yet Akira refuses again. The cat then asks why Akira won't kill him. Akira answers that he loves cats and has no reason to kill one with such beautiful fur. Besides, he can communicate with this one unlike with the other monsters. The cat says Akira can mock him all he wants, but does he really intend to stay trapped in the boss chamber and starve to death? Akira then asks if there's any way around that. The elf explains there is a ritual called a monster pact. If he turns the beast into his familiar, it will no longer be considered a boss. But the cat claims that's just theory. The ritual requires perfect mana control, something Akira clearly lacks as an inexperienced mage. The elf reminds Akira of his feats and says she believes he can do it. After all, only the first hero ever managed to defeat a monster the way Akira did. She tells him he's fully capable of starting the ritual, though she can't promise it will succeed. Akira asks what happens if he fails. The cat answers that one of them will die, maybe even both. Akira accepts the risk. The cat seems indifferent about life or death. Akira says he dislikes that mindset, the cat's apathy toward existence itself, and it irritates him. The cat only replies that he has nothing to gain from living. Then the ritual begins. Akira asks the elf for instructions, and she tells him to give the cat a name. Akira names him Night because of his beautiful dark fur. Then he must place his hand on Night and channel his mana into him. Before he begins, the elf warns him not to discourage him, but that there's no turning back now. Their souls will either unite or both will die. Confident, Akira says he has no intention of dying. He focuses, and as he channels his mana into Night, he finds himself in a stormy sea that suddenly shifts into a free fall over a destroyed, chaotic city. From above, he sees Night attacking innocent people. In a desperate attempt to stop him, Akira is hit by a blast of power from Night's mouth. After crashing down, Night challenges him, telling him to kill him. If his soul perishes here, his body will become nothing but a moving corpse. Killing him is Akira's only way to survive. Akira takes a brutal hit and begins to bleed. The elf, watching from the outside, realizes his body is in danger. He counters Knight's attacks, but Knight easily deflects them and retaliates with his claws. Before the blow lands, Akira deliberately throws himself onto Knight's claws, offering his life. The cat can't understand why Akira would do such a thing. He says Akira only needed to kill him. Now, with a claw pierced through his chest, Akira still says he won't kill him because he knows Knight never truly wanted to kill him either. Knight insists he's a monster, but Akira challenges him, asking if there's any rule saying monsters must kill other races. Knight replies it's not a rule, it's instinct. Intelligence doesn't erase that, but Akira knows Knight is tired of living that way, and tells him it's alright, he'll take care of him. Around them, the hellish city transforms into a breathtaking landscape, under a shining sun, symbolizing the merging of their spirits and the ritual's success, achieved through Akira's selfless act. Now, Knight possesses the ability to change his size, becoming either a small domestic cat or a large, imposing beast. Akira wakes up and goes to check if Knight is alright, placing his hand over the unconscious cat. The crest on Knight's forehead begins to glow under Akira's hand, confirming that the ritual worked. The crest, once red, turns yellow. When the cat wakes, he says he's curious to see where Akira's life will lead him. Akira is now officially Knight's master, and the cat swears loyalty to him, promising to stay by his side. The elf finally reveals her name Amelia and introduces herself to Knight. He tells her that, as his master's friend, she has his respect. A magic circle appears beneath them, it's the exit. The labyrinth acknowledges that Knight is no longer the boss of that floor. Still, they decide to rest a bit longer, since Knight is too weak to move and needs time to recover before continuing on. Meanwhile, Satu and his group are in a land called Yamato, part of the continent, founded by a hero several generations ago. They stop to eat, amazed by the place, and are glad they followed Satu there. Yuki says she loves the Edo-like atmosphere of the region, while Shori asks if she can take someone's leftover wasabi if anyone has extra. She wants it all. Then Satu brings up a serious topic. They're running out of money and need to find work. The group suggests becoming adventurers, since they've already traveled across many lands on their way to Yamato. They decide to talk to the locals and buy some books to learn more about this world. When asked about returning to their original world, Satu says the fastest way is to defeat the Demon Lord. Since the king and princess were the ones who summoned them, they must know a way back. So, if they become true heroes, maybe they can negotiate with the royal family. They agree to gather as much knowledge and money as possible before heading to the demon continent. Asahina suggests that before they leave, they should reunite with Akira. His intuition tells him that Akira is much stronger than any of them, and that facing the Demon Lord without him would be dangerous. Even with that, the group still doubts Akira, saying he might have been the one who killed Saren. Asahina quickly denies it, explaining it was just the effect of the princess's curse. Yuki argues that Akira isn't a team player, too detached from everyone else. Satu agrees, saying that even though he's known Akira since kindergarten, the guy doesn't even greet him. Asahina can't really disagree, he knows Akira never cared for teamwork. They also make it clear that only the holy sword of the hero can kill the Demon Lord, which means cooperation is essential. But Akira wouldn't care about that anyway, his power far surpasses that of his peers. Satu concludes that they should only consider teaming up with Akira once they're as strong as he is. Everyone agrees to stay in the city, at least while the monsters nearby match their current level. In the middle of the forest, Amelia is seen running, fleeing from a group that's hunting her. An arrow strikes her leg, making it harder to escape. Still, she refuses to give up and keeps running. Cornered at a cliff's edge, she asks her pursuers why they're after her. The elf leading the hunt only asks why Amelia is still alive. Just before being struck by a rain of arrows, Amelia uses her gravity powers to throw herself off the cliff, escaping death. She wakes up on a beach, gets to her feet, and continues her journey. But when she encounters a dark slime, it swallows her whole. That's how she ended up meeting Akira in the labyrinth. She tells all of this to Akira and Knight as they rest. Knight is amazed slimes don't usually swallow people, and the fact that she escaped is even more impressive. Amelia says she's thankful to that slime because it led her to Akira. Akira tells her she should go back to her homeland and set things right. But Amelia says she'll never return, she no longer has a home. It's revealed that the one who tried to assassinate her was her own sister. That's why she can't go back. Akira tells her that since they're family, there's always a chance they can fix things. He remembers his own sister. He has flashbacks of giving her a present, a new phone. Instead of thanking him, she feels guilty seeing how overworked and tired he looks. She tells him not to buy her things if it means pushing himself too hard. Akira's mother steps in, telling Yui, his sister, that it's just a gift, and he did it out of love. Yui jokingly thanks him, saying she'll let it slide this time. Then Akira tells Emilia that it's normal for families to argue. She asks him if he misses them. He says yes, but that he had a mission to complete before seeing them again. Akira says that in his world, no one ever noticed him, so it even makes sense that he has the ability to hide present. However, Saren taught him how to survive, and was the first person to truly notice him, but was murdered. This reveals Akira's hatred and thirst for revenge. Along with that comes his guilt. He says Saren would still be alive if he had never gotten involved with him. As he speaks those words, his powers begin to spiral out of control. His bloodlust becomes obvious. He declares that he will only leave that world after avenging Saren. After losing control, he apologizes to Emilia and Knight, who say they knew Saren. He was quite famous among the knights. Realizing he made things tense, Akira tries to lighten the mood by picking up his glove and waving it near the ground. Knight instinctively tries to grab it with his paw and asks what Akira is doing. Akira says he used to play like that with the cats in his neighborhood. Emilia, excited, says she wants to play too. Knight says, "Even you, Emilia?" Then Emilia and Akira start petting Knight. Akira says he wants to prove to Knight that he wasn't joking when he said he likes cats, and Emilia agrees. Knight tells Akira to take things seriously, revealing that if one of them dies, the other will die as well. Their souls are linked. However, there's one good side: they can communicate through their minds, no matter the distance. Akira jokes that it's more convenient than cell phones. Emilia says she's jealous, hinting that she wishes she could bond her spirit with Knight, but quietly admits that what she really wants is to be linked to Akira. Akira doesn't hear her at first, and she doesn't repeat it. As they prepare to enter the magic circle, Akira asks Knight where the portal will take them. Knight doesn't know and says that nowadays, only a few demons know how to create and operate magic circles. Akira says that once he gets his revenge, he'll visit them and make them open a portal for him, and he'll also tell the demon lord that Knight completed his task. Emilia explains that light blue teleportation circles take the user to where they wish to go, and if 3 people use one, it responds to the desire of only one of them. Akira realizes it's a gamble. There's no way to know where they'll end up. Emilia says it doesn't matter where they go, as long as she's with him. They stare at each other for a moment, but Akira jokes that she only needs him to get food. Then they step into the magic circle. As they enter, Akira wonders if his wish to return home could come true through it, but he quickly dismisses the thought, deciding he can't fulfill that wish just yet. Once teleported, they find themselves before a massive tree, which Knight calls the sacred tree. They realize they've arrived where Emilia wished to go in the forest continent, land of the elves. Even though they ended up far away, Akira says it's not a bad place. Emilia, however, is desperate. She didn't want to return there yet. At that moment, an elf aims an arrow at Emilia and fires. Akira saves her at the last second. He charges at the elf, and before the elf can react, he's already restrained, holding a kunai to the elf's neck. Akira tells him not to move, or he'll lose his head. They climb down from the tree, and Emilia recognizes the elf as Liam Gladiolus, who came to investigate the strange light caused by the magic circle. Referring to Emilia, Liam says he's found a criminal one who abandoned her homeland and declares that she's no longer a princess there. Before he can finish speaking, Akira strikes him and knocks him out, saying he hates guys who talk when no one asks them to. Emilia thanks Akira, but they soon realize they're surrounded by elves. Her sister, Kilika, appears and says she's impressed by Emilia's courage to return. Kilika calls her the daughter of plague and declares she will pay for her crime. A flashback then shows Emilia's past as a princess. While she walked through the fields, guards followed her. She asked to continue alone, but they refused for safety reasons. Looking toward the forest, she saw her sister Kilika training with her soldiers, easily disarming all 3 with extraordinary skill. Emilia, amazed by her sister's talent, said Kilika was incredible and improved more every day. The guard beside her said, "As impressive as Kilika is, Princess Emilia, you are the one who will lead our nation one day." Emilia felt unworthy of the throne, knowing her sister's abilities far surpassed her own. A series of misfortunes then struck her life. Her engagement to Liam ended, and her sister began calling her the daughter of plague. While Emilia goes through those hardships, her sister mocks her, revealing her cruelty. She declares that Emilia has committed an unforgivable crime, and that Princess Kilika is the true ruler. Everyone turns against Emilia because of her sister's words. Back in the present, Emilia pleads with Kilika to let her go, but Kilika refuses, insulting her. Akira steps in to defend her, warning Kilika to be careful with her words. Kilika asks who Akira is and why he's defending a criminal. He replies that he's just a passing assassin who met her recently. Kilika says that by hurting Liam, Amelia has only added to her list of crime. Confused, Akira asks what crimes Amelia supposedly committed. Kilika answers that her sister gave her poison disguised as a healing potion, and that no one, not even royalty, escapes punishment for harming a member of the royal family. Amelia denies it, saying it truly was a healing potion. Kilika is offended by the accusation that she made it all up. She walks toward Akira, thanking him for bringing back a runaway criminal. As she gets close, she looks into his eyes and uses her ability to hypnotize him. Amelia becomes furious, shouting that Akira has the right to decide how to act and feel. She demands that Kilika undo the hypnosis. Kilika refuses, saying that nothing Amelia says can erase what she's done. But to both their surprise, Akira wasn't hypnotized. He tells Amelia to calm down. Her sister's power didn't affect him. Knight explains that hypnosis doesn't work on someone of a much higher level who possesses mental control abilities. Kilika can't believe Akira is stronger than her. He tells her to withdraw her false accusations against her sister, losing her patience when she realizes they don't believe her. Kilika orders her soldiers to kill Akira. As Akira prepares to use his powers, he hesitates upon hearing Eldarian Amelia and Kilika's father commanding everyone to lower their weapons. He asks Kilika what's going on. She hadn't expected her father to return from his inspection so soon. Noticing that all the soldiers defend Kilika and insist she's right while blaming Amelia, Eldarian realizes Kilika used her hypnosis ability on them. Eldarian orders Kilika to undo the hypnosis and says she'll be punished later. Then he walks up to Akira and Amelia, saying Amelia will atone for the harm she caused. He commands Akira to leave, since outsiders from other races aren't allowed in those lands. Amelia disagrees with her father, threatening to leave with Akira. Enraged, he yells that she's forbidden from doing that she will inherit and rule the kingdom when her time comes. Akira cuts him off, saying that Amelia has the right to do whatever she wants. Eldarian tells him to stay out of family matters, calling him a foreigner. Akira replies that, precisely because he's a foreigner, he doesn't have to obey Eldarian, and that he can defend Amelia by force if necessary, gripping his sword. Liam wakes up after being knocked out and apologizes for the disgraceful situation. Eldarian asks if it was Akira who knocked him out. When Liam confirms, Eldarian realizes Akira isn't bluffing when he threatens to use force. In that case, Eldarian proposes a duel. The winner will have the final say. Kilika will fight as his representative. According to Elven tradition, the duel will take place at the sacred tree. As they walk toward the duel, Amelia apologizes to Akira for dragging him into this. He tells her not to worry, he's responsible for his own action. He takes the chance to ask what the insult "daughter of plague" means, since her sister keeps calling her that. Amelia explains that Elven legend says if, among twins, one doesn't resemble the parents, that child is the daughter of plague destined to bring calamity to their land. Akira asks if Amelia is Kilika's twin, but before she can answer, Knight interrupts, asking if that old legend about killing the daughter of plague hadn't already been forgotten. Amelia says yes, but because her hair and eyes don't match her parents, they still call her that. Clearly, Kilika only uses the name to hurt her. Akira then says he actually finds Amelia's hair and eyes very beautiful. Kilika and Akira stand face to face, ready to begin the duel. Knight asks his master if he won't use his hide presence ability. Akira says no, the battle wouldn't mean anything unless he wins in a clear and decisive way. Amelia whispers that Kilika is the best swordswoman among the elves, but Akira doesn't seem too worried. On the other side, Eldarian tells Kilika not to disappoint him and to fulfill her duty as royalty. Just before it starts, Kilika asks Akira if he really believes he can defeat her without even drawing his sword. He then says it would be too dangerous, he might end up killing her. Akira thanks Amelia for showing genuine anger and standing up for him, and makes it clear that once he defeats Kilika, Amelia will be free to do whatever she wants. The battle begins. Even though Kilika is extremely skilled, Akira still has the upper hand, effortlessly dodging her attacks. He gives Kilika a chance, telling her to surrender while she still can. She ignores him and unleashes a tornado spell through her sword, aiming straight at him. As they fight, Knight and Amelia discuss each other's abilities. Amelia explains that the tornado spell is the only one Kilika has truly mastered and can use effectively. Now emotionally unstable, Kilika is completely overwhelmed by Akira. He asks if she can't make peace with Amelia. Kilika refuses, shouting that she'll never reconcile with someone who stole everything from her. Consumed by rage, she charges at Akira with all her strength. As violent gusts of wind tear through the area, Akira tells Knight to protect Amelia at any moment. She could be hurt by Kilika's loss of control. While fighting, Kilika remembers her past. As a child, Amelia was seen as the one chosen by the gods, the destined princess. That always bothered Kilika, who began to envy her sister from an early age. From the day Amelia was declared heir to the throne, everyone stopped paying attention to Kilika. Amid the chaos of the storm, Liam arrives holding a branch from the sacred tree, which possesses purifying powers, and hands it to Amelia. He begs her to use the sacred branch to save her sister, Kilika. Amelia raises the branch high, releasing a burst of light that frees all the soldiers from hypnosis. Once they regain consciousness, they all recognize Amelia as their true princess, fueling Kilika's hatred even more. Seeing Kilika lose control, Akira realizes he'll have to use his shadow magic to protect everyone. He casts it toward Kilika, who tries to counter it with her wind magic, but fails. The dark energy begins to consume her, and at the last moment, Akira intervenes instead of letting the shadows devour her. He recalls the magic back into himself. Kilika notices that Akira hesitated to kill her and lunges at him, thinking she has a chance, but Akira swiftly throws her back with a single strike. He understands Kilika's pain and tries to comfort her, saying that what she believes isn't true. People do notice her and admire her, but she refuses to believe either him or Amelia and demands that her punishment be carried out immediately. At that moment, her father responds that he's the one who should be punished. Amelia never took anything from her, and all of this is his fault. Confused, Kilika tells her father to stop talking nonsense. But Eldarion reveals that Kilika had been under the influence of his forgetfulness spell. When he lifts the spell, she remembers her past, how she once trained with determination to grow stronger. She had gone to the entrance of the labyrinth, planning to hone her skills up to the 3rd floor. There, a mysterious figure handed her a strange orb, promising it would summon perfect monsters that would help her level up faster. Once inside the labyrinth, she threw the orb on the ground, and it spawned countless monsters far stronger than her. Terrified, she tried to flee, but the monsters chased her outside the labyrinth. Determined to protect her people, she stood her ground, distracted when she heard Liam shouting for her to take cover. As Liam reached her, a monster impaled him through the stomach. He died right there. Her father explains that, to save Kilika from the trauma, he erased her memory of that day, because guilt had completely consumed her. Fortunately, Amelia had learned 2 advanced magic abilities, gravity and resurrection, and was able to bring Liam back to life. The rejection Kilika felt came from everyone's fear that she might one day remember the truth. The atmosphere in the kingdom became tense, and even her father had to hide everything from her. Eldarion says that if she had proven herself worthy of royalty in this duel, she could have held her head high without relying on hypnosis. With that confidence, he could have revealed the truth to her properly, but he ended up revealing it in a much more painful way. Liam confesses that he helped exile Princess Amelia to separate the sisters before Kilika's hatred grew even further. Even though Amelia believed Liam had been hypnotized, he had actually been cured by a leaf from the sacred tree, making him completely immune to hypnosis. Kilika's relentless efforts to improve impressed Liam, who could not bring himself to stop her. In the end, Kilika realizes that she had confused consideration with negligence, and that she had placed all the blame on her sister for something she had already fixed. Her sister, nevertheless, showed compassion and forgave her, saying that she considers her amazing, kind, attentive, and pure-hearted, and finally, the two made peace. After that, Eldarion held a welcome party for Akira, Amelia, and Noit. He made it clear that he was a man of his word, freeing Amelia to do whatever she wished. Eldarion asks Akira what his next move will be. He says that he will head toward the Beastmen continent. As his familiar tells him, it is the perfect place to acquire and maintain weapons. After the party, Akira and Amelia find themselves alone. She tells him that she will go wherever he goes and that they will be together forever. He agrees without a second thought. Meanwhile, Noit watches them from afar and says they are like children. Meanwhile, Satu and his group sail the open sea. They left Yamato because the monsters were already below their level. They also share the same goal as Akira, to go to the Beastmen continent to obtain weapon upgrades. This suggests that they will meet soon. The next day, in the land of the elves, Akira, Amelia, and Knight say their goodbyes to the royal family. Before they depart, Eldarion explains that there has been a wave of kidnappings, and he has just returned from an inspection on the matter. He fears that something might happen to his daughter, so he orders his soldiers to escort them to the border. Akira notices that Knight has been unusually quiet in the presence of the elves. He reveals that few people accept demons or monsters, so he pretended to be a domestic cat. Knight says his eyes and ears are still linked to the demon lord, which is why he must maintain his composure. However, he clarifies that there is no interference in his actions. He makes it clear that he has no intention of betraying the demon lord. Akira replies that if one day a battle occurs between them, Knight could side with the demon lord. However, the lord wishes to meet Akira personally. Amelia wonders if the lord might want to be his friend. Knight says it's possible since what Akira did during his last battle must have caught the lord's interest. No one uses shadow magic anymore, and Akira even cloaks himself in it, showing a high level of mastery over the skill. He says he covered himself in it in the heat of the moment because he was afraid it would consume Kilika. Suddenly, Akira shouts for the carriage to stop his presence detection magician's skill picked something up. From a distance, the kidnappers warn them not to move, claiming they have a hostage. They order everyone to tie each other up. Upon noticing Amelia, the kidnappers rejoice, realizing they've captured an elven princess. They plan to offer her to Lord Graham, their king. Moments later, Akira activates stealth mode and takes them down with ease. After restraining them, he questions who this Lord Graham is and whether he's the one behind the kidnapping. It's revealed that there's a member of royalty in Uruk, the largest nation of beastfolk, named Graham. Akira orders Eldarian soldiers to return and take the kidnappers into custody. This technically disobeys a royal command, but they're already close to the harbor. Upon reaching the ship, Akira says that once they arrive at their destination, their first task is to organize their weapons and, if possible, level up. Amelia asks if he wants to get even stronger. He answers that nothing is too much when it comes to ensuring he can avenge Commander Saren. Knight mentions that the port city has a labyrinth where Akira can level up. Since it will take them a few days to get there, all they can do is relax and enjoy the journey. Amelia is excited about the trip, imagining watching the sunset with Akira, the starry sky, and other romantic moments while he, on the other hand, is reading. She asks if he's really going to keep doing that even while they're traveling. He says her father gave him some books before they left, and he's eager to read them. Amelia calls her father an idiot. When they arrive at their destination, she's disappointed with the trip Akira spent the entire time reading. When he wasn't reading, he was asleep. They arrive in the port city of Vur, where only humans do the heavy labor. They are soon approached by 3 thugs demanding that Akira hand Amelia over. Akira fights them off without causing much commotion, not wanting to attract attention, and quickly realizes that humans are heavily looked down upon in this land. Knight admires his master's skill. The people of this continent fear black cats and stare at Knight as he walks. The same girl who had stared at him in the crowd of the human kingdom appears again, following them. They check into a hotel and have dinner. When it's time to sleep, Amelia notices there are 2 unnecessarily large beds in the room. She suggests they share one. Embarrassed, Akira says it's better if they each sleep in their own, but she insists. Knight says he'll be stepping out to visit someone and will leave them alone. Amelia goes to take a bath, and when she returns, she finds Akira already asleep. She realizes he fell asleep quickly, he must have been exhausted. She kisses his cheek and lies down beside him, but in truth, he was only pretending to sleep to avoid the awkward situation. The next morning, Knight returns. He notices that the 2 seem to have had a good time last night. Akira hadn't realized, but Amelia had slept beside him. Knight tells them to get dressed because a visitor is on the way. His name is Crow, a blacksmith he hired last night. Crow says that the nightmare of Adlia summoned him, so he had no choice but to come. Amelia is startled by Knight's nickname. He explains that Crow is the best blacksmith in the world, which is why they came to this continent. Amelia and Akira introduce themselves. Crow asks to see Akira's weapon. Upon examining it, he notices several intricate details and even recognizes that it was once used in the Great Labyrinth of Kantanen. When Akira asks if he can repair it, Crow says that with the right budget and materials, yes. In addition, Akira also requests 20 throwing-type assassin tools. Noticing that Akira is an assassin, Crow says that he seems too inexperienced and will end up ruining any weapon he forges, unable to make proper use of them. Amelia steps in to defend him, but Akira replies that Crow isn't exactly wrong. Noid explains that Crow may be a blacksmith now, but he was once a member of the last hero's party and knows plenty about combat. Crow hands over a list of materials needed to repair the sword and forge the tools, saying they should contact him once they have both the money and the supplies. He then takes Akira's sword with him. Even if he's rough around the edges, Noid says Crow is excellent, there's no better blacksmith to trust with their weapons. Akira says he believes Noit's words and asks where he can get the materials and money. To do that, all he needs to do is hunt monsters in the labyrinth, keeping whatever materials are on the list and selling the rest for gold. At the same time, he can raise his level. Noit introduces the Brute Labyrinth, saying it's the best place for them to train. However, access is restricted based on an adventurer's rank, but Akira says he can handle that. Amelia tells them she'll be going out because she needs to talk to Crow. Akira tells Noit to follow her while he checks on a few things before heading to the labyrinth. Amelia meets with Crow and says that the hero's previous party failed to defeat the demon lord, only the hero and 1 beastman returned alive. Crow assumes Amelia came to argue, accusing him of abandoning one of the elves who died in that battle. But no, she says he died because he was weak. That's why she asks Crow to train her, to make her stronger, so she can survive future battles. Crow refuses, saying every disciple he ever had either ran away or broke down. But Amelia insists she's not like them and wants to be strong so she can stand beside Akira, as the gap in power between them is enormous. When Crow sees Noid appear, He tells the Nightmare of Adlia that he only accepts requests to repair or forge weapons, nothing more. Noit replies that that's exactly what he came for. Amelia then speaks up for herself. Noit also tells Crow to stop calling him by that nickname, but Crow insists, saying he's the symbol of terror that once haunted every beastman on the continent. Amelia, surprised, says she thought his name was Black Cat before he was called Noit, and asks where the nickname Nightmare of Adlia came from. Noit explains that about a century ago, Adlia was the most prosperous city in those lands. The Demon Lord sent him on a mission to attack the city in retaliation for the invasion of demon territory. All Noit had to do was deliver a warning to their leaders, but that day, he let his demonic instincts take over. Consumed by destruction and slaughter, he lost control. There was no reason to go that far. From that day forward, the people began calling him the Nightmare of Adlia, and black cats became symbols of fear. Meanwhile, Akira was listening to everything through their mental link. Noit wanted him to hear it. When Noit once said that nothing good would come from him staying alive, it was because he was traumatized by that event, which had burned such thoughts into his mind. But he says he's different now, and as long as he serves Master Akira, that tragedy will never repeat itself. He may be judged for his past, but his life has been transformed even if he doesn't deserve it. Crow clarifies that he never held resentment toward Noit or the Demon Lord. They weren't the ones who killed his sister. After Noit left the city in ruins, his sister stayed behind to help those trapped under the rubble. But then a man in a carriage crushed everyone in his path out of fear that Noit might return. That man took the lives of his own people without hesitation, all for his selfish interest. His name was Grand Cluster. From the royal family, the same man Crow seeks vengeance against. Amelia asks if he ever got his revenge. He says no, because his sister wouldn't want him to follow that path. That all happened 100 years ago. Amelia says she feels sorry for Crow's sister, because he's using her memory as an excuse to run away. He interprets her feelings however he wants and claims to respect them, but in truth, he's just running away from the world and from himself. Furious, Crow demands to know what she could possibly understand about him, but she answers that the same thing happened to her. She ignored her own feelings, saying she was doing everything for her sister, but Akira made her realize she was wrong. Crow rejects her words and orders them to leave. Meanwhile, Akira is searching for the labyrinth. Suddenly, he hears an explosion, and a giant monster bursts out, slaughtering people along its path. Amelia and Noit rush to help. Noit focuses on helping the civilians escape, while Amelia engages in combat, and there she encounters Oram Trez, the same young man who once sent Kilika into the labyrinth unprotected. He claims to be under the command of the Demon Lord, who has decided to spare her life, and then he takes her away. Through telepathy, Akira asks Noit what's happening. Noit replies that Amelia has been captured. Akira immediately sprints to find her, cutting down every monster in his way, but she's already gone. Furious, he unleashes his power, summoning the Inferno of Shadow. That spell seeks out every monster nearby and annihilates them one by one. For the first time, Akira says he has felt such an intense emotion. If he had lived his life only in his original world, he would never have experienced anything like this. This rage opened his eyes to one simple truth. He now has someone outside his family whom he truly loves, Amelia. But the overwhelming power consumes him, and he collapses. After that, Noit senses the excessive amount of power Akira reached and rushes to help. Once again, he must use emergency mana to stabilize him, activating Shadow Magic, Recovery Mode. Noit takes him to Crow's house while Akira is unconscious. He explains that Akira could have lost his life, his mana was depleted, and he stayed unconscious for an entire day. However, his Shadow Magic replenished his mana, defying all logic, proving that his abilities still hide many secrets. He thanks Crow for lending the bed and says he's ready to rescue Amelia with brute force, not wasting time on planning. Clearly, Akira is furious. Crow tells him to calm down. Entering the demon realm isn't that easy, especially without weapons. Akira says his weapons are gone, but Crow points to his side, showing that they're right there. That lack of awareness just proves how unsettled he really is. Akira then notices his sword looks much smaller, almost like a lollipop. Crow explains that smaller weapons are easier for assassins to handle. Akira thanks Crow for upgrading his gear. Then Crow gives him a ring, saying it will guide Akira to the person he's looking for, Amelia. It was made by the third hero and carries the words, "I will be your guide." Soon, they realize Amelia isn't heading to the demon realm, but to the brute labyrinth instead, so Akira and Noit set out. Noit warns his master to be careful with how he uses his powers, because if Akira dies, he will die too. Meanwhile, Amelia is inside the labyrinth with Oram. He tells her that demons possess a spell that controls monsters, but he can only paralyze other creatures for now. She asks why they're still inside the labyrinth, and Aurum replies that he's waiting for his boss since he doesn't yet have the skills to teleport. He realizes Amelia is just trying to buy time, but he doesn't mind. He believes he can handle Akira. He adds that she shouldn't worry, because the Demon Lord wants her alive and unharmed. Akira and Noit are now near the labyrinth. Amelia is deep inside, on one of the lower levels, so they need to hurry. Suddenly, the same girl who'd been following them appears, asking to be taken to where Amelia is. Akira is puzzled by how she knows this, but she says she used her scent tracking ability. Her name is Leah Lagoon, the first princess of the nation of Uruk, of the Beast Folk. She knew the Lord was after Amelia, but she wanted solid proof so Akira would believe her. He uses his ability to make sure, and discovers that she isn't lying. However, he runs into some spiritual barriers that prevent him from using his skills. She reveals that she can use those barriers on others as well, which could be useful to protect the group from magic. The Demon Lord wants Princess Amelia because of her resurrection magic, so the three of them set out together. Meanwhile, Amelia questions whether demons aren't already immortal. Aurum admits he doesn't understand the Lord's intentions either. Then, he makes it clear that Akira will die by his hands, and that she'll cry just like Kilika did when Liam died. Akira asks what Leah was doing in Redis on the day he met her. She says that a slime devoured her family and everyone in her village. Someone modified the slime and released it into the wild, so she's been searching for them ever since. The royal family adopted her for her protective abilities. Then she began investigating the slime deaths and discovered that many other villages had also been consumed. Those lives were used in the ritual to summon the hero. She says the blame doesn't fall on them, but on the king and princess. Akira replies that he doesn't trust the words of royalty and seeks revenge. Noit adds that the demons haven't sought war for over a century, yet everyone still treats them as vile creatures. Finally, they reach the labyrinth. They discuss the fastest way to get to Amelia's floor. Noit stops Akira from using his shadow magic so he doesn't wear himself out. He says he'll transform to speed up the process, but can't guarantee he'll stay in control. He might hurt Akira or get consumed by his instincts. Akira tells him he'll take care of him. After Noit transforms, he charges forward, annihilating everything in his path. Akira calls his name, keeping him grounded in control. Mentally, they continue their earlier conversation. Noit explains that the first Demon Lord attacked other races as revenge for being exiled to the volcano continent. From that moment on, the Demon Lord was labeled the root of all evil, and anyone who defeated him would be hailed as a hero. The root of it all was the prejudice against the demon race. That same hatred led to the murder of the Lord's wife. She was killed in her sleep, not by a hero, but by some fool who wanted attention. Before that, he was kind, loved his family, and cared for his people. Akira thinks it's a tragic story, but even so, the Lord ordered Amelia's abduction, and he'll pay for it. However, Noit insists that not all demons are the same. Some only want peace. They finally find Amelia, and Leah casts her barrier to protect her. Having overused his powers, Noit says he won't be able to move for a while. Akira is determined to protect Amelia, and he makes that clear. Even though Noit tells Aurum that Akira must be taken alive to the Demon Lord, Aurum says his orders were different. The two begin to battle. Akira gives it his all but keeps getting hit repeatedly. Even with Leah placing barriers on him, the demon's spear is strengthened without those shields. A single strike would have been fatal. He realizes he hasn't landed a single blow on Aurum, so he resorts to his shadow magic, summoning several beasts that charge at him. Aurum then plays his flute to summon other monsters under his control. Leah casts her barrier to protect Akira, saving him at the last moment and destroying the monsters. Aurum has nowhere left to run, yet Akira hesitates to kill him. Suddenly, Nihiro appears from a portal, a demon of the second rank in the hierarchy, far stronger than Aurum. Disappointed that Aurum lost to a human, Akira questions himself, wondering whether he should have ended the battle in blood. Face to face with Mihiro, Noit tells Akira not to fight him. It's noticeable that his powers are superior, and Akira notices the pressure, so he can't let his guard down. Mihiro throws Aurum, saying he's not capable of fighting, and Aurum thanks him. Mihiro begins the attack, destroying Leah's barrier and causing Noit to lose his size. He says his focus is in Amelia, but even so, he launches an attack against her called Marionette, which knocks her unconscious to provoke Akira. Akira gets furious, and Mihiro says he only made it easier to carry her. He feels intimidated by Akira's murderous gaze, which shows he's prepared to kill him at any moment. Noit tells Akira not to become emotionally unstable. On the other hand, Akira realizes that even though he's angry, he doesn't have much of a chance and should prioritize saving Amelia. not fighting. Mihiro didn't know he would have to intervene just to kidnap a little princess. To conserve his energy and time chasing Akira, he creates barriers to prevent him from escaping. Without his shadow magic, he is unable to use his abilities and fight at full capacity, leaving him with no way out. Mihiro asks if Akira's name is written the same way as Oda Nobunaga's, and if they use the same kanji. This makes it clear to Akira that his opponent also comes from the same world as him, making him question why Mihiro would have allied himself with the demon. Mihiro, in turn, states without hesitation that he will kill him and take the princess. The two begin their attacks. Even exhausted, Akira uses what remains of his magic. Mihiro finds his powers interesting, but notices that he is in economy mode because he is out of mana. Even wanting to see Akira at his maximum power, he cannot waste time, so he will end this quickly. Knight interrupts them, saying that he has recovered his mana. After Mihiro asks if Black Cat is fully on Akira's side, he replies that he is and doesn't intend to return to the Demon Lord's side. Mentally, he tells Akira that he wants to annul the pact. They can do it if they both want. The only way for them to get out alive is with Knight's sacrifice. Akira ends up refusing verbally. Mihiro notices they are speaking in secret and says it will be their last conversation, so he will wait for them to finish. The two continue arguing, and Akira says that if they work together, they have a chance to defeat him. They entrust their lives to each other. Even though Knight tells him not to do anything reckless, he persists. Suddenly, he uses his transformation to become the only person who can rival Mihiro, who is impressed to be face to face with the deceased sage, Saren Mithray. Knight says he can't hold this transformation for long, and they both have to be quick. He uses the Celestial Hammer ability, which will fall upon whoever wants to harm his master. Mihiro scoffs at the exaggeration, and the Hammer of Light is easily blocked when he uses his barriers. Akira swore that this ability would cause havoc. After that, he even throws a lightning storm at them. After donning his shadows, Akira goes for hand-to-hand combat. Even with Knight's help, Mihiro manages to hold them both at the same time. While they fight, Akira says that if Saren were still alive, they could fight together like this. This thought filled him with immense sadness and ended up hindering the battle. Knight says that his transformation is ending, but Akira replies that the fight will end now. When trying to use his barriers, Mihiro fails, and Akira mocks him. But that wasn't the ability he was using. He bewitches Emilia, making her pierce Akira's chest with her own hand. Desperate, she apologizes, and he says it wasn't her fault. Knight realizes it was the marionette spell, and Mihiro explains that this ability can extract 100% of the target's power, even making them stronger. Akira continues fighting against death, saying he can't die now. He won't let Mihiro take Emilia. He still has to avenge Commander Saren's death and return home. His body reacts, again using his shadow magic. Recovery mode. Mihiro realizes he's tough and tries to hit him while he recovers. However, his magic ricochets, and Akira's healing is complete. While levitating, he activates his combat mode, and a voice says his target is the demon Mihiro Abe, magic artisan. He is terrified by Akira's power, but wants to destroy him quickly. Healed, Akira manages to fight spectacularly, trapping him in his magic. Again, the voice tells Mihiro to cancel the spell cast on Emilia, but he refuses, saying that he will not obey a human, for demons are far superior. The voice tells him that he should not underestimate humans, even if hard work does not always pay off. Akira won't give up. Irritated by the lectures, he tries to strike Emilia again, throwing thorns at her and trapping her legs. At the last second, Akira protects her, but they are both saved by Crow, who undoes the magic, and they ask what he's doing there. On the other hand, Mihiro asks how Crow is still dead, since he thought beastmen only lived a century longer than humans. He replies that he's not at the peak of his powers, but he's not out of shape either. Mihiro says that's obvious, since his spell was undone in an instant. After saying he'll let them go, Crow replies that the favor is theirs since Mihiro doesn't stand a chance against everyone. Leah didn't know Crow was coming, but he claims it was a coincidence. Akira is impressed by his fame, since both Mihiro and Leah know him. He faints from exhaustion. After 3 days unconscious, Akira awakens beside Emilia and Noit. He says he's happy for her present. After Crow arrives, he thanks him for saving their lives. He asks about Leah, saying he needs to thank her, but Crow has already sent her back to the royal palace. He is surprised by his colleagues, who managed to find him. They say they have a long history. The group is leveling up very well, and they went to find Crow to improve their weaponry. Akira is happy that they left the palace, as things were getting out of control. His colleague Kyoyusuke says that Jill's controlled Asahina and made him break everyone's curse. Asahina apologizes, saying that even under the curse he should have done more for Akira. Kyosuke's curse was broken by Akira in his encounter with the princess at the palace. He didn't know who she was, but receives thanks. Kyosuke says he's upset that Akira left alone, but he knows the situation didn't allow him to stay. While they are having dinner, Akira asks if Jills is alright being away from the palace. He replies that he is, as he is no longer a knight. He was dismissed when the king noticed that his order had become a nuisance. Asahina couldn't wait to see Akira and asks if they can continue as a team. Noit interrupts and refuses, saying he is the only partner his master needs. The two begin to argue, and Noit dislikes Asahina's tone, as if he already knows him. Akira interrupts the argument, saying he is relieved that everyone is alright and asks what everyone's plan is from now on. Satu replies that the objective is to defeat the Demon Lord. Noit says that this idea is a bit absurd, and everyone revolts against him for attacking Asahina and Satu a day ago. Akira asks Noit for privacy, who, even reluctantly, agrees to leave. He asks why this objective, if they want to become legends or something similar. Satu says no. They only want something to negotiate with the King of Redis and return to the original world. Shiori says that if they were summoned by them, they can be sent by them. Finally, Satu wants to know if they will be helped, since everyone knows Akira's strength. Asahina begs Akira to fight alongside them. However, there are several problems with this, as he believes there is no way to make a deal with Redis, since they use curses to control people and even killed Commander Saren. Satu asks what other problems he sees. Then he remembers the sacrifice Leah mentioned and the lives consumed as part of the summoning ritual, but he doesn't tell his colleague. In any case, Akira is against trusting royalty. The group questions what other choices they have, and if he doesn't want to return as well. Amelia feels bad hearing that Akira wants to go home, and this is evident on her face. Meanwhile, he explains that second-degree demons can build teleportation circles, and there's a chance this could take them back to their world. At some point, he'll go to the demon world to give Mihiro a beating, but there's something that needs to be done first. Asahina asks how they can help, but there's nothing they can do at the moment. Even if Akira joins them, he won't babysit anyone because he's not a babysitter for men. He only makes choices that give him a better chance of returning home. He notices Amelia leaving and leaves with her. Jellies says he needs to discuss the weapons request with Crow and leaves as well. The group questions Akira's words, but Satu continues to think they have a better chance of returning home with him. Yuuki wanted some commitment from him, since he didn't seem to care much, but they know that's just his personality. Akira will only accompany them if they prove their worth, even if it's difficult. He goes to see Amelia. She says she's sad because one day they'll have to separate. Even knowing it will happen, she's afraid that day will come. Again, she apologizes for almost killing him, but he says it wasn't her fault. Even though she nearly went crazy thinking he was dead, she was glad he wasn't. Besides, when he returns to his world, he'll forget her, but at least the scar will remain. She wonders who would think that, since it's such a horrible thing. Akira says he's not good at easing pain with words. Amelia just wants to be important to him, but she doesn't know if she is, because not even the eyes of the world can see into someone's heart. Furthermore, people can change their minds in an instant. He says he doesn't know what he really wants, even though he can't predict the future. Couples in his world who vow to stay together forever wear rings on their ring finger. As a gesture of love, he cuts his finger into a ring shape and says he loves her. If that makes her happy, he'll leave scars on his own body. No problem at all. She hugs him tenderly, her eyes filled with tears, and says she loves him in a way he could never have imagined. Now they both share this scar, and he says he will do everything he can. She wants him to promise that he won't die, forget, or leave her, and that he will only have eyes for her. He accepts her wishes, and they kiss on the cliff. However, every year, the winner of this contest disappears. There are rumors that they are trafficked on the black market. Numerous adventurers confirm this, making the information credible. They realize that if they manage to capture the criminal responsible, Oda Akira would finally notice that they are useful. Everyone agrees that it's a good idea and worth trying. They head to the city of Mali, which is responsible for the contest. The group mentions that the girls wanted to go, so they thought of inviting Princess Amelia, but she only agrees because there are food stalls. Additionally, they invite her to the beauty contest, saying that the prize is amazing. Upon arriving in the city, they notice a crowd. Amelia hopes that the contest prize is some kind of food. Noit comments that it's possible. Since the beast men love food, Akira notices that she is genuinely excited about the festival. From a distance, they see a young woman grumbling to an attendant, calling her prejudiced. Curious, Akira asks what is happening. She introduces herself as Lati and says it's unacceptable that demons are banned from the beauty contest. Noit recognizes her from somewhere. Meanwhile, Akira notices that she doesn't convey the power or aura of the previous demons. She asks him to talk to the organizers so she can participate. Jealous, Amelia intervenes between them. The attendant immediately notices that it's Princess Amelia of the Elves and readily accepts her. The princess complains to Akira, as he seems to be melting for another woman. He says he isn't, and Laddie apologizes. After that, she continues insisting to be allowed in the contest, since other races can participate. She claims that elves are the biggest cheaters because they are all beautiful. Amelia remains jealous. She has nothing against the girl, only against Akira looking at her butt. He intervenes, saying he will stop her if she tries anything. The attendant can allow it if the princess's group agrees to take responsibility. Everyone agrees, and Laddie notices Black Cat. He says he now goes by Noit. She then realizes that they made a pact. Akira asks if they know each other, and Noit responds that he will explain later. Amelia and Laddie resolve things quickly, agreeing to enjoy the festival before the contest. Laddie goes through the streets asking for votes, leaving her autograph on those who agree to vote for her, written in the language of the hero of legend. Everyone rushes to line up in front of her. Akira notices the commotion she caused and asks who she really is. Noit responds that Laddie is very unique, whether she is a demon or not. Amelia says she doesn't seem bad. Akira notices that Amelia's opinion is also quite unique. From afar, some girls recognize the silent assassin. They run away in embarrassment when noticed. Crow says that Akira is famous in the region, when he defeated those monsters with dark magic and restored peace to a city plunged into chaos. Many eyes were on him. Akira admits that he was very conspicuous for an assassin, and everyone knows that's what makes him interesting. Everyone calls Akira the silent assassin, and the reputation is spreading. Crow delivers a special reward to Akira, since he was promoted to yellow rank by the Adventurers Guild. Amelia says it's always good to have that as identification. She is silver rank. She claims to have a rank higher than Akira's. Kilika has gold rank, which only 3 others in the world possess. Her colleagues are also yellow rank. Setu sarcastically says he can give tips to Akira if he wants. The girls in the group invite Amelia to try an unusual dish served at a stall. Asahina is called for a raffle, as she has intuition skills. Akira asks Noit to follow Amelia to protect her in case any pervert approaches. Everyone makes way for Black Cat to pass. Akira wonders how Amelia made friends so quickly with the girls. Crow replies that the journey was long, and she seems very sociable, unlike Akira. Crow doesn't seem like the type to care about festivals, so he is asked why he came. He reveals that his sister's wishes aren't the only reason he hasn't taken revenge. Even if he doesn't show it, he has aged a lot. Beast men age in a way that doesn't show outwardly. The man who killed his sister is protected 24 hours a day. Killing him isn't easy, because numerous mercenaries guard him. Upon mentioning the name Graham Cluster, Akira remembers the kidnappers who served that same king. The fact that Amelia was attacked as soon as she entered the country was because Graham sold information to the demons. This man can consult the list of everyone entering and leaving the continent. In other words, Graham Cluster caused problems not only for Crow, but for Akira as well. Additionally, Crow says he discovered that the group was in danger thanks to the magical crystal on Leah's staff, which alerted him. Even though Akira is grateful for being saved, he doesn't understand why Crow is bringing this up now. Crow replies that he saved them so they would owe him a favor. Then he requests a mysterious job from Akira. Leaving him stunned, Crow knows he won't get an immediate answer, so he waits. Soon, they are interrupted by Jills, who says they need to arrange accommodations as soon as possible. Crow then shows his influence in the region, saying that if they mention his name at the contest, they'll get more comfortable seats to watch the presentation. Akira teases, asking if everyone owes him a favor. Crow responds that that's how things work. The contest begins, and because of Crow's name, they secure an entire box. Asahina comments that Akira is now famous and standing out, but he is ignored. The participants go by, and it's Amelia's turn. She is the favorite to win the presentation, and everyone is impressed by her beauty. The last participant is Laddie. She makes a triumphant entrance using a blue stone. She asks everyone for votes, and the crowd is enchanted. Seeing this, Akira asks again if she really is a demon. Noit confirms, even though it's hard to believe. At dusk, the winner of the contest is decided, the first tie in history, between Amelia and Laddie. The group gathers again, and Laddie says she did her best in the presentation, yet only managed to tie with the elven princess. Amelia says it wouldn't have been a surprise if she had won. On the other hand, Akira responds that tying with the princess is a reason to be proud. Laddie flirts with Akira, asking if he's started to take an interest in her, but he replies that his eyes are only for Amelia. Their love is beautiful, and Laddie notices that. Finally, she says she will win the contest next year and hopes to have Amelia as her opponent again. Noit says that if Laddie keeps attracting attention, her father might not like it, but she says she doesn't care, since they fought and she ran away from home. Noit says he had sensed this fight, revealing to Akira that Laddie is actually the daughter of the Demon King. Everyone is shocked by this. Meanwhile, cameras are monitoring them. They are controlled by King Graham, who says he can capture and offer to Amelia what the demons couldn't take. Akira notices that Laddie's stats are impressive. Amelia says that, demon or not, she has always been very strong. She warns Akira to use his World Eyes ability, as there are people who hide their true strength. For a brief moment, Akira has visions of his deceased colleague, but he prefers not to say anything about it. Crow and Jills arrive with the accommodations already arranged and ask if they will need to get another room. However, Laddie says she can camp without any problem. Again flirting with Akira, she says everyone will sleep far from her except him. They will meet only the next day to claim the contest prize. Before leaving, she asks Akira's name, saying she will dream about him. The group wonders why the prize wasn't given immediately. Satu participated in the male contest and says they weren't ready in time since there were 2 winners. Amelia asks if their prize will be food as well. He replies that if it is, he'll give it all to her. One of them notices Noit is absent, but Akira says he just went to do him a favor. The group happily goes to take a bath. As the day has been great, Amelia asks if Akira wants to bathe with her. He refuses, missing another chance, since he cannot enter the women's bath. Even though she insists, saying he can use the conceal presence skill, he refuses. Crow reminds Akira of the job he requested. Amelia pulls him to the room. There she says he hasn't slept in days and keeps refusing rest, so she uses magic, forcing him into a deep sleep. Returning to the hall, she asks what the 2 of them had discussed and what the job is about. Crow only offered a job, but Amelia doesn't want Akira to do anything by force. Crow replies that Akira was forced not to kill the demon. Even though he wanted to, he didn't because of Amelia. She says Crow can think what he wants, it doesn't mean it's true, and his choice not to kill is his own. Crow has no intention of forcing him or changing his mind. The decision is Akira's. Additionally, Crow says that one of the only reasons Akira almost killed was because of Amelia, which makes her reflect a lot. The next day, Akira is still asleep. Amelia and the group go to the city to claim their prizes. She talks with Laddie and says she didn't expect Akira to sleep so deeply. Satu stays alert, since the traffickers must be keeping an eye on the prize collection spot. Asahina is grateful that Akira didn't come, otherwise they would have missed the chance to show their potential. Shori warns the group about Laddie as well, since not much is known about her. Upon arriving at the location to collect the prize, they notice that it's a rather strange place. Suddenly, 3 armed men appear, threatening Princess Amelia. They state that she must accompany them because King Graham wants to see her. Amelia insults the king, calling him the leader of the kidnappers and a scoundrel who would kill his own siblings to save himself. There's no way she will go with them, so the ninjas are forced to take her by force. Using her gravity powers, she pins them to the ground. When questioning what Graham wants with her, the kidnappers remain silent. According to them, they were only given orders to take her. Noticing that she is being deceived, she increases the weight of her gravity. Having lived decades longer than them, she won't be fooled easily. One of them finally speaks, saying that most of the contest winners had their organs removed and sold after being kidnapped. Even though rumors spread, King Graham always suppresses the case using money. Every year, it's the same thing. Furious, she increases the force of her gravity again, imagining the worst might have happened. About to kill them, Laddie stops her by hugging her from behind. Even though they are criminals, she cannot kill. Amelia insists, saying it's not murder if it's done in a duel. But Laddie continues restraining her, saying that all people, even villains, have their stories. No one has the right to end those stories for them, so she will not allow anyone to be killed in front of her. Akira sees everything that's happening, immersed in a deep sleep. His mind is connected to her mana, having been enchanted by her magic. Finally, Laddie makes it clear that if Amelia really wants to, she can kill. But she should do it while Laddie's back is turned, since she cannot be the hero of justice with someone she cannot see. Akira doesn't want to see her kill anyone, hoping she won't do it, because thanks to Amelia, he has never killed, imagining how she would feel if she found out he did.